Hello and welcome to Kutti Gang. This is Kutti Gang. I'm Zubi.
I'm Pooja.
And today we are hanging with our comedy godmother, Fareeha Khan.
Hey.
What's up? What's up? Love to be here. Happy to be here.
One of our absolute faves,
Oh my
bro.
God, I love you guys.
Comedian, writer, zine artist, very
Thank you.
talented artist, I will say, like visual artist.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yes. I remember like so many like comedy shows were just like your posters made
I
by
like
you
making
and stuff.
posters.
Yeah, you
I
made
like
our
making-
first.
Oh
You
yeah, I
made our
made your
first
guys' first one.
poster.
And that was like back when I was like still like I hand drew it and then I took
Yeah.
a picture and I like didn't know how to do digital art then.
Oh,
my
It was
God.
crazy.
So good.
I love that.
You're
Yeah.
doing digital now?
Now I know how to do digital. I'm on
She's got an
Twitter.
iPad.
I got an iPad. Hit me up. Hit me up.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so we know Fareeha. We all met like the same time period.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Kutti Gang is 5 years old. We met Fareeha 5 years ago, essentially at the SUP open mic.
Yes.
Hey, shout out.
Okay.
Shout out to 2018.
2018, when we were all in the trenches
Children.
doing several open mics a week.
Oh my God. I was a different person then.
You
Yeah.
really were like on your
Wow.
like comedy grind.
I was addicted to comedy.
Yeah. Well, can you like first can you like explain what SUP was, and then I would love to just hear because you started in the scene I think before us, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm a little bit older than you guys.
Maybe like I mean I know you're only like I feel like you're only a year older than me.
How old are you?
33.
34.
Okay.
Nice
So
to
I was
meet
right.
Yeah. Nice.
You're just 17.
My manager told me to never say.
She just got off the boat from Alabama.
Yes, literally. Yeah, I'm
okay.
curious.
Yeah, like, okay, so SUP open mic, such a throwback, fond memory. So this was like an open mic that I started with a few other comedians, with all female comedians. It was like Jessie Roth, me, Juliet Prather, Maddie Fisher, Stephanie Pace. I think that's all of us. And like,
Yeah.
so I think we were all starting to do stand up. And we had, most of us had been doing like improv and sketch and stuff. And we were trying to do stand up. And when I first started to try to do stand up, I would go to Manhattan and do these like really scary open mics that you had to pay like $20 to do. And then it's like in a scary basement. And it was
all
like,
white
it's
men.
all white men and then me. Like
Yeah.
I'm the only girl and I'm like brown and I'm weird and I'm shy. And I would like get up there and just like eat shit and it was awful. And I was like, why am I doing this with my time?
Yeah.
Like I found it like difficult and depressing, but I really wanted to do stand up. And then I just realized that, you know, there were like, I don't even remember how it started, but it just somehow we all came together and we were like, we want an open mic that like fits our vibe.
Yeah.
You know, and at the time it felt like it was mostly male dominated, which is funny
So
because
much,
it's
yeah.
like,
They're not even that funny.
yeah, men aren't funny. We know that. That one's obvious. But I mean, like at the time, it just still, it's like not even that long ago. It's like in
Yeah.
our Lord's year, 2018, like
Yeah.
we still haven't had a woman president and all the mics were men. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and so we just started this open mic at Creek in the Cave, RIP. That place is gone.
Yeah.
And
it's also interesting that it was there of all
It was
places because
really
that
funny that
was
it's
kind
there.
of the like
Male
most aggro
dominated.
male
It's
place
like, yeah,
for
where
comedy.
they also did like
Legion of
Skankstown
Skanks, yeah.
and whatever the hell
they
it's
did?
called.
That's what
yeah.
I don't know what the fuck it's
Oh.
called. My bad. But
Yeah, it
like,
doesn't
yeah, no,
matter.
it was like,
Skankstown.
I think it was like,
Yeah.
I remember feeling like at the time, like, oh, dang, that's where you do like alternative style stand up comedy. And so that's what I liked about it. But like, I didn't fully grasp that it was also a culture of like far right men. You know what I mean? I didn't understand that totally.
Yeah. But you guys were like such a breath of fresh air.
We
like,
were
I
like, yeah,
was
this
scared to step-
random. I
Yeah.
was so scared of like every other like open mic there. But then like
Yeah.
we had a slot in the basement where it was ours, and we made it so it was all women and queer people and non-binary people. So it's basically just no straight men, no
Yeah.
cis straight
You
men.
guys literally, you did such a great job of fostering that community, and
Thanks.
like it made such a big difference in our lives. I swear to God. Like I would
thank
not
you.
even
That's
just be,
like literally so sweet. That
no,
makes me
because
feel so
I like
good.
you got it. Like it was scary going in. Like I remember
Yeah.
doing like Laughing Buddha and stuff
That's
like
what I'm
that.
talking. I was talking about Laughing Buddha. I was just trying not to put him on blast, but I guess like who cares?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, like no, it's like you go to Laughing Buddha and it's like you're paying them money to bomb, and it's like so I wasn't like meeting any people that I wanted to be like friends with.
Exactly.
Like they didn't get me, I didn't get them. But it was actually Juliet's idea because she came from Austin and she had done that in Austin, and I think it went like really well there. And she was like, "We should do it this way," and I was like, "Okay, cool."
That's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because I think like also for people who are not comedians, the concept of going to an open mic, like you are there to like work your stuff. And so
Right.
on one hand, it's annoying whenever if you're the one on stage, like no one's paying attention to you and
Right.
like your joke just bombs, because I think half the time it's because no one's paying attention.
I think
because they're
so,
focused on
yeah.
their own thing. Because they're like, how
In
am
their
I about? I'm about
heads.
to go on stage, so like, or I'm writing because my turn is next.
Yeah.
But like Sup was completely different because it pushed people to like be supportive.
Yeah.
Like there was a big like culture there
Yeah.
of you had to pay attention.
Yeah.
And
It
like
was support.
yeah.
It was like a supportive like gang of like
Yeah.
girls and queers.
Yeah.
And like in a way, part of it's like, oh, does that sound cheesy? But it's like it was so helpful.
It really
like,
was.
We
I
needed
think
that.
I literally got better at comedy because
Yeah.
of Sup.
Yeah.
Same.
Because I was able
Same.
to work on my shit for real. Like I wasn't
Honestly,
just going and
literally.
being scared, you know?
I wouldn't
Yeah.
have done stand up if it wasn't for Sup. Like seriously, because I just was not vibing with the other open mics, and there's plenty of open mics that people still grind and go to. And I'm still just like not an open mic guy. Like it's just so hard for me to get myself to go. But like, yeah, Sup was special because I think it was just like this culture was kind of created. I didn't even realize we were doing it. It just sort of happened. But it's also because of like all the people that came, like because of you
Yeah.
guys, that you came and you connected with it and you were like, yeah, I like vibe with this and I want to be a part of it. And I think we all created it together, you know, like which is kind of a beautiful, rare thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's definitely now mics and stuff that have that same ethos.
Yeah.
But it's less community focused in a way from my
Yeah.
experience going to them now. There's less of that social pressure of being like, when I'm here, I'm completely present, I'm in the room and I'm being supportive of whoever's on stage.
Yeah.
To me now it's just sort of like everyone is still kind of doing that behavior of I'm hyper focused on myself. This is my I'm like me pursuing comedy is like my singular pursuit.
Yeah.
You know
my
what I'm
main
saying?
character.
Oh my
syndrome.
God. It's so like, that's so real. And then that's gonna like, I mean, that is reminding me so much of like capitalist individualist culture
Yeah.
where it's like all success is individual and
Yeah.
not community based, and that's why everyone's so hyper focused on their own success, because we've been trained since we were like infants that that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I think it like takes a lot of effort to like deprogram your mind.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was going to say that in your introduction, like notorious anti-capitalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fareeha
my
Khan,
zine.
everybody.
Link in bio, baby. Catch the zine.
So funny. What was your concept of stand-up comedy in general? Like, especially like growing up brown and
Yeah.
stuff, right? Like, it's not
Yeah.
like my dad watched Seinfeld, but
Right.
I don't think he was like, Seinfeld is a stand-up comedian, you know?
Right,
I don't think
yeah.
I think he just like liked the show.
No,
'cause it was like
totally.
a pleasant show.
My dad still will be like, why aren't you more like Seinfeld? That's like my dad's main reference. He's like, I don't get why you're not like that guy. My dad's
It's
super
either him or like
funny,
Dave
too.
Chappelle,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
Oh my God. I went to the weed store the other day and this guy just, I was like putting out postcards for my comedy show. And then he was like, oh, you're a comedian? And he was like Russian. So I'm doing like an accent. Okay. But he was like,
Don't do that.
Okay. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm scared.
Yeah.
And then he
you
was
can
like,
do a Russian accent.
I don't know.
I think we're allowed.
I don't know. But he was like, now it's like, oui, French. I
you do a French accent?
I actually don't know how to do the accent. That's also part of it. But like, he like was like, I love Dave Chappelle. And I was like, that's cool, man. And then he like went on to do this like really derogatory bit that's something about an Asian girl. I don't know. And then I was just like, awesome.
Was it a Chappelle bit, or was he like, this is something I've had in my back pocket for years?
He was like, I saw Chappelle do stand up once, and this is what he did. And I was,
okay.
But then he just like went going on and on and on, and I was just like stuck there. And sometimes it's just dangerous to tell a middle-aged man you're a comedian.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is.
It's not good. You should keep that to yourself.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I think that is like a big thing that people realize when you start doing comedy is like there are certain people that like you just don't tell that you do comedy. You know,
No,
it's
100%.
like when you're sitting on a plane next to someone, you do not tell them that you
Don't
do
say
comedy
that.
unless you're like want to talk for the next 2 hours. Also, it's like really awkward to just based on the level that we're at. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but it's like I would consider myself as a comedian. I would call myself that and not shy away from calling myself a comedian. But when you tell a full-on stranger who is not familiar with your work that you're a comedian, then they're like, where can I see your
Dude,
stuff?
that's what they always say. Yeah. Again, I'm sorry, but this goes back to the capitalist levels of success. Because in my zine, I do discuss how it's like to break into this industry is so difficult. And there's like this statistic where it's like only the top like 1% of like musicians are household names or like make enough money to have a life. You know what I mean? Like something, I forget the exact quote, but something like that. And it's like, they're when you say you're a comedian, they're like, oh, where am I seeing you? It's like, I don't know, dude. You're like your mom, you know?
I don't know. It's like live every
Can you
month.
get me a gig? Like give me a platform.
Yeah, that's so funny. It's so true. Well, yeah. So what would you say like
so
your early like comedy influences were?
Yeah, like okay, so I didn't really know that much about stand-up. Like I was growing up like, you know, in the South, like I was in South Carolina and Virginia. I have 2 brothers. And so like most of my exposure to comedy was from my older brother. So it's like from like a dude's perspective from the 90s. Okay. So
the best time.
It was a great time to be a male. Honestly.
Yeah,
Good
literally.
for them, but not
South
to be anyone else.
Beavis and Butthead,
exactly.
Simpsons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, he was like obsessed with The Simpsons, obsessed with Dumb and Dumber. I became obsessed with Adam Sandler. Huge Adam Sandler fan from early on. So I don't know, like random stuff like that. And I was like also loved like All That and Nickelodeon. You know what I mean?
That was the best.
Stickly. This is all that. This is all that.
Oh, that sweater looked like it could be on All That, to be honest.
That was beautiful. Zubi, the voice of an angel.
I love that.
My influences were that I wanted to be a singer, and and
it's kind of comedy.
I was like, this voice will not go ignored.
Really?
No.
I
wanted to be a choreographer.
Really?
I did love. I mean, like I love all like arts and entertainment and everything.
Yeah.
But I feel like I really loved singing, but my parents were so against me singing. I was just like, it's fine. Whatever.
Brown
I have
parents
all
are
these
so
other
scared.
things going on for me anyway.
Totally.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Didn't know you guys are both like singers.
Yes, but this, I mean,
I was like not professionally. I just like to sing. That's
yeah,
it.
exactly. I would never be like, oh, I'm going to release a single or anything. But I will say I have a good voice, and I think you do too.
Let me hear it.
No,
I'm not a good
We
singer,
just
but
gave
I
you a
love
little
to
bit.
sing.
Yeah.
Well, I was sort of like harmonizing with you guys. So I couldn't focus.
No, you were carrying, and I loved that.
Thank
but I
you.
guess when you're saying brown parents are scared of that, like, I agree. If I would have told my mom, oh, I want to be a singer, she would have like freaked out on me. Recently, when I was home for Thanksgiving, my mom was like, kind of just grilling me about my comedy career, and like I don't see basically she was like, I don't see where it's going.
Oh my god, this is so my mom. Our parents should talk.
No, why? So they can like gas each other up and be like,
I don't know.
And so
maybe
now,
they need a support
she doesn't
system.
pray.
Yeah. They need a support system.
They do. I feel like we should make
like brown moms are so
we should make a
class.
sup for brown moms.
We should make a sup for brown moms where they get together and complain about their daughters doing comedy and turning gay and stuff.
Yes.
And it's just like, but brown moms are so afraid to share and talk about stuff that is out of the norm.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
It's like frowned upon.
Yeah.
That's our mother's like generation's culture.
Yeah.
It's like you weren't allowed to like speak up as a woman. Like it was like dangerous.
Yeah. And like for them, like their strength is like literally taking it silently.
It's resilience with taking it silent. That is so what it is, dude.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that because it's like I don't even really know like my ancestry very much at all because like I'm from Pakistan, you know, and since Pakistan was like part of India and like it's like we don't really know past that. Like where were my great grandparents? Where were the great great grandparents? I don't know.
It's
Nobody
hard.
talks about it.
My brother actually did 23andMe and.
I did that too, and it was devastating. Go ahead.
Because I have a joke about this with my son.
Yes. I remember this like joke. It's so funny, and every time like my siblings would talk about doing a 23andMe, I'd be like, "We're just gonna like." I would think of your joke. And we're just gonna be Indian.
Say the joke.
Yeah.
Okay. So my brother did one of these 23andMe tests. You ship him your piss. They tell you who you're related to. And we get the results back. And it turns out we're so Pakistani that we're 100% Indian.
Incredible.
Classic.
Great joke.
And then I spent time being like, if you don't get why that's funny, you're stupid. So that's really fun too.
That's the best part.
Thanks, man.
The
That
good
makes me
tag.
feel good. I like that.
Yeah.
No, so my brother did his result came back and it was like 70% Bengali from the region of Bangladesh and then 30% South Indian.
Oh, that could make sense.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess.
Your
Yeah.
people are from the jungle. Isn't that true? Isn't like South India
it's
like the
also-
luscious like?
Yeah, if you go like, because like my family is from South India, but we're from Hyderabad, which is
Okay.
like just above, I would say. But yeah, if you go to
Okay.
Tamil Nadu, that is like
Yeah,
jungle.
Isn't that like Kerala and all that?
yeah, Kerala, yeah, even South,
Yeah. I heard that place is so beautiful.
exactly.
That's what I'm imagining. That's cool.
I would love to visit my ancestors.
I want to visit. Can we go too? I don't know how we're gonna get in. You can't get in if you're like Pakistani or Bengali. I think.
I can get in. What are you talking about?
Fine. If you're Pakistani, you
You
can't.
definitely can't.
Damn, dude.
Oh, wait,
Go.
Pakistanis can't get into India?
Not really. It's really hard to get a visa.
Oh.
You have to go through like back doors and stuff. I have a Pakistani cousin that
We should
married an
become a
Indian
singer.
guy. Dude,
They
I'm not
love
good at
Pakistani
singing.
singers.
I'm not good at singing.
India loves stealing from Pakistan's music so much.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh dang! I didn't.
Half of like India's most popular music and soundtracks and all of that
like
comes from Pakistani.
Sheriff Khan.
Yeah, like
He's
from,
Pakistani, right?
Yeah, Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, all
Yeah.
of those people. Like it comes.
I'm a Khan
from-
too.
Yeah,
I guess we're all related.
I feel like you guys need to just make up.
I want to learn about the ancestors so bad, dude. Like, I have such a deep yearning for it. And it's just like so hard because, like, imagine if we did have the data so that you do a 23andMe and then it's like, oh, you're from like this part of India or whatever. Or, like, that's what happens for other people. They're like, I'm 2%, like this tribe from Native. It's like, I would love that kind of information just so I could like do the research or connect to a part of the land.
Yeah. Exactly. Like I feel I have I know my ancestors were Hindu. For sure they were Hindu.
Dude, really?
yeah.
You guys converted, you think?
I definitely think that. Yeah.
Why do you think they converted? Sorry.
Colonialism.
Colonialism?
Well, I mean like Muslim colonialism.
Oh, because they were like, okay, we're here in Bangladesh, we'll just be Muslim now.
Well, I mean, when Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh split, it was Pakistan, India, East Pakistan.
Right.
And we were like the Muslim cohort, basically,
Right.
of that part of the world.
East Pakistan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there were still like a lot of Bangladeshi Hindus and stuff.
Okay.
But the Hindus in Bangladesh did face a lot of persecution and stuff.
Really? Yeah.
And I also think that, I mean, it makes sense like now, like looking back and being like, oh, 30% South Indian makes sense because like,
Yeah.
you know, like I'm sure once Islam came to that region of the world,
Yeah.
it spread and then like
Yeah.
people migrated.
Yeah,
you know, to
definitely.
the places where it was more like
Definitely.
you know, more mosques
Concentrated.
and- yeah.
Yeah. There's actually that's actually dark. Like I only just started to even understand like what happened with Pakistan and Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Which is like so intense. Like that was
So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's why there is
I
beef
didn't
between you
even-
that's
guys.
why we have a lot of
yes.
tension.
Yeah.
It's not just sexual.
Zubi. Okay.
Okay, so I did not even know this actually, was the fact that Henry Kissinger was responsible for millions of Bangladeshis' deaths and like
What?
Yeah, because he was in support of Pakistan and like sent money to Pakistan.
Why?
with, like,
Why'd he
US
choose
aid.
that one over the other? because it's closer to Kashmir or something?
I think there was, at that point there was a lot of stake in America and relations with between America and Pakistan.
Interesting.
For some reason, and then maybe
there's some oil there. There's got to be something because there's something that they wanted. That's why.
Yeah,
that's
power.
how these white guys were. Yeah,
power for sure,
for sure.
And I think that just ending Bangladesh or keeping Bangladesh, East Pakistan would have benefited America's relationship with Pakistan and that region of the world. I think. But again, these things change. They're I'm pretty sure America was beefing with India, and India was supporting Bangladesh at that time. So
that's
it's a lot of different. That doesn't mean that they're America's relationship with Pakistan is the same anymore. Of course not. So I don't know. It's a lot of fucking
it's really
dark history.
So dark.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law is from Bangladesh, and my little brother, who's her husband, was saying it's being from Pakistan. When we go back, I think it's we're dang, it kind of sucks to be here. It's the country's just doing so horrible. The pollution is horrible. I don't know, just you're getting sick. It's just kind of this negative attitude is how me and my siblings have experienced going back there. But then my sister-in-law, whenever he's around her family and they're talking about Bangladesh, it's always so positive.
Really?
We love it here and everything's great. We're from Bangladesh. You know what I mean? And I was man, that's such an interesting take, culturally. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, there is a lot. I went back to Bangladesh in January after 20 years of not going.
Wow,
Yeah,
20 years?
Yeah. And I do remember, I was 12 when I first went to Bangladesh, and I still remember just thinking the same thing. It's very beautiful and stuff. And then going back 20 years later, I was a lot of what made Bangladesh beautiful is not the same anymore.
What?
There's this area in Sylhet, which is the district that my family is from. There's a tourist spot called Jaflong where they have this clear water, beautiful rocks and everything.
Oh wow.
And it
Brown
was
people love water.
Yeah.
Brown people love water.
Go to the Niagara Falls any given day. You will see a pack of brown people there.
We should do a trip, dude.
Yeah.
We should do a trip upstate.
Yeah.
I want us to go.
Brown people really love water.
Water's beautiful. It's healing.
But going back this year, I do think that it's been so much pollution,
much pollution in that area.
It ruined Jaflong to
wow.
what it used to be.
It's not clear anymore.
The water's not as clear anymore. One of the guides told us if you walk a mile that way you'll see the waterfalls. We get there and the waterfall is fucking dried up, bro. There's no falls. It's just plastic everywhere.
Well, okay. This is actually because that area of the world is considered the global south, right?
Yeah.
And then there were those major floods in Pakistan.
Oh yeah, there was that same year was a huge flood in Bangladesh as well. Last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's the global south is paying for mostly North America.
Yeah, the pollution that's happening. Yeah, totally.
It's
absolutely.
so awful.
Which you can't even blame those people because they're
totally.
Yeah,
who are we blaming?
Or Bangladeshis.
No, you can't blame the local
Yeah.
people. You have to blame North America.
Yeah.
You have to blame the rich people that don't stop polluting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well.
Okay.
That got deep.
So comedy.
Anyways.
But it's cool. I mean, isn't it crazy to think that that's where we come from? These countries with so much history, and then our parents. I mean, all our parents immigrated here, right?
Mm-hmm,
Yeah. So our parents escaped that and came here to make a better life for their kids, and then we all turned out to be comedians.
Yeah.
Who shit on this country regularly?
I think that's part of the deal.
Honestly,
if you get to be American, you should be shitting on it. That's that's part of it.
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, yeah, that's the freedom or the beauty of America is that we do have that political ability to
We
do
couldn't
that.
have that if we were back.
No, not at all.
Motherland.
Not to the extent.
We
that-
would be
that-
arrested.
yeah.
all the time. Yeah.
Well, I did 23andMe, and it was kind of silly that I did it because, my results were truly 100% South Indian.
Oh, wow.
And from generations. And I don't know why I did 23andMe because a big part of my identity is the fact that like I was the first person in my entire family ever to be born outside of India.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Even
Like-
your sister
oh,
was
sorry,
born
my
there?
sister was born. Sorry, my sister. No, I meant to
Fuck
say
that bitch.
Kinda. No, but I guess in America I'm the first person to ever be born in America. She was born in the Caribbean. Also, different vibe.
That's
yes,
cool.
yes, yes.
Different vibe.
My
But
little
yeah.
brother was born in Cyprus.
Oh,
The immigrant patterns are so wild.
totally the stopover. You have
Yeah.
to. They were figuring it
Yeah.
out, and then
Yeah,
they finally got to America.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. I feel so. It's kind of silly that I did 23andMe because it's like, no, it's like the family lore is that I am the one that was
Yeah.
born in America. So like,
yeah.
starting with me, it will kind of
Now it's
be
gonna
branching
be-
out.
yeah.
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 So that's kind of
that's crazy.
funny, I guess.
But but where do you know like where? Oh, you said hybrid.
100% South
South
India.
India.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wow.
But like, did they give you any more information where it's like, if you wanted to, you could like look into like the region or like where your ancestors were?
No, I mean it was just literally like Hyderabad, or like it was. I think it just said like the state, which was
Yeah.
Telangana. Yeah, you know what's interesting? Like I went back in October and I spent a month there, and a lot of it was like talking to my grandparents, talking to family members, and it was cool to. I don't know if you grew up in New York, so maybe you have a little bit of this, and I feel like Zubi does have like roots in New York in terms of like
Yeah.
uncles, aunts, like cousins, businesses, like
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
here. Whereas I do feel, even though I was actually born in Brooklyn.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, my parents immigrated here. I was born at Maimonides Hospital. We lived in Coney
Wow.
Island.
Oh my god.
On the
you
Ferris
lived
wheel.
with the Pakistanis there?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I guess we were living, I don't know, like we were living,
Or the Polish people?
Yes.
Yeah.
yes, the Polish, Russians,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
totally.
Ukrainians, yes.
Totally. And then they moved to Kentucky, which is like, again, other part of like my stand-up huge identity there that I talk about.
Totally.
So I was talking to my grandparents and even just my mom, and my mom's parents live in this area of town where like everything is kind of built up around them, and it was already sort of like a bustling area, but now everything's just kind of gotten crammed even more.
Oh yeah, it's like crowded.
Totally crowded. And it's fascinating to be like, oh wow, like if this was New York City, this would be like Chelsea or something, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Or like Midtown or and when I meet people in New York now, like particularly like white people who grew up here or something,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh yeah, my family, like my parents are even from here.
Yeah.
I feel like this sense of, oh, I wish I had that.
yeah, like an envy.
Yeah, of being like, it would be nice to have roots here, because
Right.
there, I feel like I had this like, if I just like the privilege of being like walking into a room and someone being like, oh, I'm your like mom's second cousin.
Yeah.
I knew her when she was a child.
Yeah.
And here, let me like feed you or whisk you
It's
away
like
and
a
like do
really
something for you. And
I totally get what you mean.
yeah, just like that level of support and level of like just community.
Comfort too.
Yeah, is just so different than like what we had. Cause like for us, like we, on my dad's side, we were the only ones that immigrated to America.
Right.
So now like my first cousins who all grew up in India, like they now live here, but like they did not grow up here.
Yeah, exactly.
And we were like the kind of odd ones out who grew up
Totally.
here. And on my mom's side, she has like a very small family, and like her brother ended up immigrating here.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, I don't know. It just is like interesting. But we all like we didn't live in the same cities.
I get
So,
what you mean.
yeah.
Like when I went back to Karachi, where my family's from, like my parents, both of their families are all in Karachi. It's like this really cool feeling where it is like there's so much family and there's so many cousins, and you can go out to eat and you're eating delicious food and all this stuff. And like, I get what you mean. It's very like cozy and like familiar. And a big part of my identity of like growing up as an immigrant kid here was like it felt really isolating.
Yeah.
Because like, especially when we were in South Carolina, like I was often the only brown girl in like my classes,
Yeah.
like in all my classes. And it's like, there just weren't other brown kids to relate to. There like were a few,
Yeah.
but I just didn't see them all the time. So it would always feel like I was on my own.
Mhm.
And I was like super lonely as a kid because I couldn't find my place. And then like a big part of like what I still am exploring now is that like third space where it's like you're from another country, but when I went back, I would not fit in there because I was like too American. And then like I'm growing up in America, but I was also like, you know, growing up the South, I was like foreign, I was different. And so there's that.
In 9/11, post 9/11.
Post 9/11.
Yeah, that was really hard.
Post 9/11 was really hard. It's hard to even like grasp or fully like, I think part of it is like, I've blacked it out.
Yeah,
It's hard to think about.
Totally. It's like I don't even want to think about that.
I don't want to think about it either. Yeah. And then now it's like, Islamophobia is like back going up.
Oh, retro.
Yeah, they're trying to bring the 90s back. They're trying to bring the early 2000s back.
Yeah, let's go, girl.
Let's wear crop tops and be Islamophobic.
Times I'm like, bro, I don't even. This shit does not even hurt me anymore.
Yeah,
like,
literally. I know. I feel like in that way, it's like
literally
my
like
brain
made
is
of stone now.
Yeah. Like it's hard to take in.
I was like, you said what? All right.
Yeah. I'm like, I
feel like I heard worse in 2001.
I can't even.
But yeah, I hear you. Like when I think about the things that my family or I did or thought in the time period after 9/11, that makes me so sad.
Yeah.
And makes me feel like, ooh, like that's trauma, I guess, is what
it's
you would.
Trauma for sure. It's trauma for sure, dude. Like it's hard to think about. Like, yeah, like all the times like we got stopped in airports and we had to go through like the extra security. Like I'm sure you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember like when me and my family were coming back from Bangladesh and we got stopped and we had to stop in London and we were coming from Heathrow Airport and like trying to get in the plane, and I don't remember, I was a kid, I don't remember why there was such a long wait to get on the plane. But I do remember just like people, like I have a brother with disabilities and he's in a wheelchair and things like that, and they told us like, we're gonna take everybody that like needs accessibility, we're gonna take them in first. And like all these people were just getting so angry that they were letting us go in first,
letting
and
brown
like,
family go in first.
And I was like, I don't understand, like this
That's
is, you
so
see the man, like my brother has no
offensive.
legs, like and I just like was like so emotional, like we were like waiting for so long. I normally don't get like and I was like 12 years old, I don't get like emotional with like strangers being mean to me. Like the only time I'm really emotional is when like my family is being mean to me.
That shit cuts deep for him.
Oh my god!
I'm like, with strangers, I'm like, you don't even fucking know me, bitch. Like, but
Jesus,
I was just like so emotional. I started yelling at this white man because
did?
I was like, he doesn't have legs.
Oh,
how are you getting mad? It's like, yeah, let's let the terrorists go in first. And I'm like,
that's so fucked up to say that to a child.
And I was just like, I don't.
Where?
I'm so
like
tired.
That's what post 9/11 was like people that
this
they could
was
say
2002
anything to children. They're saying that shit to straight up children.
Yeah, because like with black and brown kids, they don't see us as kids. They just see us as threats.
That's so fucking stupid. I hate.
Ooh, I just got
thinking
chills.
about
That's
that. It's
so
like
bad.
it's just like I'm seeing all the ways that I like black this shit out because I really can't process it.
Yeah,
I can't.
Yeah. Like I remember also like growing, I had like this one neighbor girl that I always hung out with. We all like literally like I taught her how to read and write and stuff like that. Like, and after 9/11, like her mom would not let me hang out with her, like ride my bike with her or anything like that. And I remember like stopping in front of her house like on my bike one day and just be like, hey, are you gonna come play with me or whatever? And her mom stops her and is like, no.
That okay. And this is so
and she said something about the Taliban and I was like, I'm gonna go. I'm on a bike. Like,
poor Zubi.
You're like, I don't know them.
Literally, bro. I do not know them. Wait, but like it's so fucked up because I think also if my girlfriend's roommate is Pakistani and also grew up in New York, also grew up in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
Actually, maybe you guys know each other. But like I was talking to her about it and she was like, I think there is something about if you grow up, when you were growing up in New York post 9/11, it was probably like even more intense.
Oh, totally.
Because I think in the South, like it was a little bit more subtle and insidious, I would say, from what I remember. Like there were comments and stuff, but I think there's something about New York where it's like you're around people in this way where you can't avoid it. everyone when I was in elementary school in South Carolina, I thought I was Mexican. I just let that
same.
slide.
Well, that
you know
too,
what I mean?
yeah.
That's also like a classic experience
Yeah.
that a lot of brown people have. Like South Asian people will be like, oh, they thought I was Mexican, and then a lot of like Latinos will be like, oh, they thought I was Indian.
Yeah.
Isn't that really funny?
Yeah.
That's how, like there's a lot of like brown comics that all have a version of that joke.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like my biggest joke, or like my main joke is like that they would call me Puha because they thought the J was silent. Yeah, like
That's really good.
yeah,
Yeah, like that's so classic. Like, but like, yeah, I think there's something about being in New York that made it like so in your face because it's
Totally.
like happened in New York.
yeah.
And
People
so-
were so traumatized here.
I think they were like, and like when I was talking to my girlfriend's roommate, she was saying like her sister's like probably like closer to our age or something, and that they were so mean to her. And she was saying like once her sister told her all the stuff she went through, she was like, it wasn't even as bad. Like, and she's like, they're like 8 years younger than us, you know? So it's like a little bit like of a generation, like half generation behind or whatever. And like, it's just, yeah, I think there's something about being in New York probably.
Yeah, it definitely was like super intense here. I do think that I lucked out because like I was kind of in a bubble as well.
Yeah.
Like even though like my neighbor said that our relationship did kind of just like mend over time because it was just
Really?
like, yeah, because it was just like, and then they ended
was
up moving
stupid.
because, yeah, they were also like Colombian or something like that.
Yeah,
So I'm like,
it's like you
I'm like,
need
"Hey,
each
what do
other.
you-" and then like the neighbors in front of us were Puerto Rican and they're still there to this day. Like
Wow.
they're still
Yeah.
like, you know, and there was like this tension, but like at the same time, it was just about like, you know, connecting and just being like, oh, my kid's going to this school now, and like, you know, like we want you to come over for whatever. And like our next door neighbors to the right of us were like Trinidadian as well,
Yeah.
like Hindu Trinidadian.
That's so
it was like I was surrounded by
New York is so cool.
so I was surrounded by like, you know, people of color at the end of the day, you know, so
That's
like
great.
they were more than willing to learn and unlearn like the
Wow.
racism and stuff like that. So because they were facing like
their own
shit
struggle,
all
yeah.
the time, you know?
And then like I envy that because growing up in the South, it was like I was surrounded by like a lot of white people, and it wasn't that many people of color, you know? And like that's what I missed because it's like I didn't feel understood. Like when I was like in elementary school, I felt like everything about me was so weird, like because that's how I was treated.
yeah.
You know?
Just like you didn't have like a sense of belonging.
Yeah, not at all. That's
Yeah.
like why I think
But I
it
do
really
think that that's what
shaped
makes,
me.
yeah, exactly. I feel like that's what makes a creative person so special. You know, I feel like that's like something that like really speaks to your work and like what you put out in the world, because you're trying to build a space for people where they feel like they belong. You
I
know?
think that's
like
really
literally
big.
like sup.
Like sup, because
Yeah.
like I think like that's really big for me. Like I mean, I try really hard to be an inclusive person because I know how shitty it feels when people were so like not inclusive to me,
Yeah.
and how feeling like an outsider for like so much of the time that like my brain and body were growing, like the foundational years of my life, like have really affected like how I viewed myself and my self-esteem, and the amount of money that I've had to pay out of pocket for therapy to heal this shit. Like is a lot of work. Like it's really shaped me, and like I it's wrong, you know, that shouldn't happen. Like,
Yeah. You know what's wild though is that like so many people have had our experience because like you were in South Carolina, I was in Kentucky, and like there's so many people who are not creatives.
Yeah.
And it's like, thank God we do have an outlet to your point, you know, it's like probably a reason why you are creative. And I feel so grateful to have an outlet. But I think what's even cooler, because now I'm doing all this writing around Kentucky, and I'm like, I hope that someone who grew up in the South and is a brown person like sees our work.
I agree.
And is like,
is
oh wow,
felt,
they feel seen, because it's like,
That's so massive.
yeah, there's a lot of people at the end of the day.
Who have, okay, so can I tell you guys something? I did my solo show last Sunday.
I was
And-
there.
You were there. No, sorry. Sorry, my brain don't work. It's like always all so much. No, thank you for coming. Of
course, it was good.
Thank you. Okay, but yeah, I did my solo show, and it was like really so massive. Like I worked on my solo show like all year, and it was like the third time I did it, and I just feel like really good about it. And it was like telling my story on stage felt like so cathartic to me. Like I can't even explain it. It was like healing. It was helpful. It was like talking about all of these things we're talking about, like on stage, and just being like, this is my story, was like not even for like some diversity hire shit. It was just like truly authentically like helpful to me.
Yeah.
And I had like printed out postcards and put them all around at like coffee shops. And so like random strangers came that like don't even know who I am. And this one girl came up to me after the show and she was like, I just want you to know, like, I'm Pakistani, I'm bisexual, I'm from the South, and I came out to my mom recently and it was hard. And I just wanted to say, like, I related to your show so much. And I was like, oh,
so beautiful.
That's crazy. Like, that's all I've ever wanted, because I totally agree. Like, when I was growing up, like, if I could have seen a show like mine or like you guys doing stand-up, like, it would have changed my fucking life.
Yeah.
Like, I was yearning for that shit, and it didn't exist at the time. Like it did not exist at all.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know. Like Aparna Nancherla is like the first like South Asian comedian that I don't even know of.
Yeah.
Like,
Shout out to her.
Like who
Shout out.
else
She carried
is doing
that torch for us.
Yeah,
Totally.
And she's from Virginia. Shout out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I grew up also. But like,
she's dope.
Yeah,
Man.
she's so
funny.
cool and like.
But you said that you came out to your mom.
Oh yeah.
Recently?
Okay,
was this recently or
yeah, it was recently.
Oh my god, yeah. Tell us. We got like 4 minutes, so please tell us.
Yes,
tell us all about
because
it.
I feel like also too, so much of your writing has been around like loneliness and heartache and love and yeah. And
oh my god, it has been. Pooja's been paying attention. Okay.
Fareeha's such an artist, you guys.
I love art. Art is my passion. Art is my passion. Yeah, no, I was single and lonely for so long. We all be knowing about that. A lot of attachment issues I had to work through. That's also part of probably all this stuff that we're talking about. But but I met someone this year.
Hey. You said she's Pakistani too, or no?
No. She is actually half Colombian and half Hungarian.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
She's hot. And
yeah, she is.
I fell in love with my girlfriend, and we met in like April, and like it just kind of caught me by surprise, because like I was like I know that I've known that I'm bisexual for like a while now, but I was like, man, maybe just to make this easier on myself and dealing with my family, I should just like manifest a man so that I could just like, you know what I mean? That's like sort of where I was at with it. Which is sad.
Yeah,
for sure.
And just part of the reality. And I think a lot of what bisexual girls go through, because a lot of bi girls are like, there's jokes about like bi girls having boyfriends.
Yeah.
Like that's a classic thing. And I think it's just easier. But anyways, okay, Pooja, you okay? You're sweating, dog. What's wrong? Okay, anywho. So like I met this woman, and like we're both bi, you know, so it felt like also pretty cool because we're like choosing to be together. And yeah, we fell in love, and I decided to come out to my mom. Like first I told my dad. My dad was so chill about it. My dad's the coolest guy ever. Shout out to Fareeha Khan. He's pretty cool. But yeah, and it was easier to come out to my dad. He's like definitely like.
What did you like? What was the phrasing that you said? You don't have to like, you know.
No,
but I'm just curious on like.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like my mom literally, if I was to explain some concepts to her like that, she'd be like, what did that even mean? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
it's like it's uncomfortable to have to sit down and talk to your parents about your sexuality. Like that's not anything that anyone ever wants to do ever.
Yeah.
So it was like so I remember my dad called me, and my parents have been like really worried about me because I'm single, classic South Asian parent move. And my dad was like, oh, I heard about this dating app that maybe you should try. You know, he's like on the phone. I'm like talking to him. And then he was like, I just really want you to meet someone. And then I was like, what if I already have met someone? And he's like, oh, really? And then I was like, how open-minded are you? And then he was like, well, I just really want you to be happy. And I was like, okay, well, I met a woman and I really like her and we're together. And then he just goes, oh, you swing that way? That's how my dad talks, man. He's cool, bro.
I feel like Pakistani dads are just so hilarious, because I feel like Sabine's dad is like very similar.
Yeah.
To
I love
that.
a goofy, sweet dad. That's my passion. Yeah, and so then it was just like a lot easier to come out to my dad. So then I came out to my dad. I had come out to like my brothers already, and then their wives, like my sister-in-laws, and they like don't give a fuck. They were so cool about it. They're like, oh, that's cool. Like, literally. So then I employed my little brother's help. to come out to my mom because I was like, I knew that was gonna be so hard, and she's tough. She's tough.
She
So your
seems
dad
it.
didn't tell your mom?
I think he told her. He told her, and then my little brother like kind of decided to like get involved too, and so there was this night like him and his wife Natasha, the Bengali one. They were there. Wait, are you allowed to say Bengali or do you have to say Bangladeshi?
I mean, Bengali is the ethnicity. Bangladeshi is the nationality. You know, so
That's what's up.
Learning things.
Okay, so
Me acting like I knew that the whole time for 5 years. I'm like, absolutely.
Indians be wild.
it's like making that like subtle distinction of like, Pooja's Indian,
But I'm Telugu. Yeah.
What?
Let's just talk about you.
Okay.
That's like where I'm from, and like that's my ethnicity, I guess, in India. Is
that's
like,
cool.
Yeah.
Telugu.
Telugu. Telugu. Yeah.
Telugu.
Which I heard is the fastest growing language in the United States right now because everyone comes from there to like IT jobs here.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I
And
truly
I am
hear it all the time when I'm like in the airport and stuff. Like it's kind of crazy.
That's so cool,
yeah.
dude.
I only hear Bengali when like delivery guys
The delivery guys are so strong.
Cool. So then basically my brother talked to my mom, whatever. So like she had a hard time with it. And then she sent me this text. Her first text was like, okay, no pressure. You don't have to get married right away. All of a sudden,
All of a sudden, she's like, you can be single forever. I won't bring it up.
Pressure.
She's like, just don't be gay.
Don't be gay. And then I started to like talk to her more about it, and she was having a really hard time with it. This is another stand-up joke that I recently wrote about it, but I'll just say it really quick to like close it all out.
Yeah.
But basically, she sent me this text one day, and it was really sweet. And she was like, I don't understand it. I'm processing it. I love you. And I support you. Okay. So like, I was like, okay, that's like amazing. But I was really caught off guard because that's like not like my mom.
Your dad like ghostwriting the text.
Yeah.
Literally.
Like, I've like never felt like my mom has been like supportive to any of these choices. She doesn't like me being a comedian. She doesn't like the way I dress. She doesn't, you know what I mean? She doesn't like me being an outspoken woman. Like all of these things, right?
Yeah, because they feel like you are a representation of them.
And they were taught to be silent.
Yes, exactly.
And repressed.
Yes, and like also just like docile and
Yeah.
you know, all the
That's what a good
ladylike
woman is.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's where my mom gets on me as a representation.
Yeah.
She's like, you are representing this family,
Yeah.
so don't embarrass us.
But I mean, yeah, but it's like I've already embarrassed them so many times.
Yeah.
So it's like I think
You'll
we're
get over it. It's fine.
But anyway, she sent me that text, but then also like a few days later we were on the phone and she was like, but I do think that lesbians are disturbing. Like, so it's been really up and down, but it's just constant up and down. I think she's learning. She met my girlfriend. I went to dinner with my girlfriend and my parents when they were in town. It was crazy. Me and my girlfriend were so nervous and my parents were acting so chill. And then like it all went really well. The night
were you guys like
ends.
don't touch, or were you touching?
Yeah, we were scared to touch.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that's
I was
fair.
like scared to touch. And then at the end of the day or the whole night or whatever, where like me and my parents are going home, my mom goes, yeah, she'll be a good friend for you. So it's just a constant up and down.
And that's also a brown mom term is friendship. My mom's always like, God and Pooja are in a friendship.
Are you
Like,
serious?
Yeah. Now I think they're way more, you know.
Yeah.
But in the early days, she would say friendship.
I feel like I have a lot of faith that they're gonna come around. Like I feel like the way my parents have handled it has been inspiring. That like I really thought I could have never gone through with it. Like it's so uncomfortable to have to like sit there and talk to your parents about who you want to have sex with. It's like so uncomfortable.
Like, you shouldn't have to do that.
Like it's
Totally.
Dude, like my
Totally.
mom was asking me questions. So like, how long have you felt this way? And like all this stuff. And it was just so uncomfortable. But I think like at the end of the day, our parents just want us to be happy.
Yeah.
And if your kid's happy, I think that like there's a lot more South Asian families that are able to like come around to their kid being gay or whatever.
Yeah. I think so too.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
We have run out of time.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us. For
having me. I had so much fun.
You're
This
the
was
best. This is Kutti Gang and another episode of
Kutti Hang with Fareeha Khan.
Thanks, guys. I love you guys.
Wait, where can people follow you?
Oh yeah, I'm on Instagram at Fareezy. I have an Etsy shop called Cool Existential Zines where I have my zine on capitalism and artwork and stuff. And
Yeah.
Awesome. Yay. Love you.